Hello, friends. Welcome to the Say It Loud podcast. I'm your host, Matt Jones. Such an exciting week for the end of August. On August 31st at Antone's, Fair City Fire will be hosting the Too Damn Hot Affair. It's going to be a great show benefiting Sims. Austin Detours is helping sponsor. They're going to be playing alongside Lola Tried, Megafauna, and our guest for this episode, Aaron from Sinclair. We talked to Aaron about his new album, Cat Paws. We talked about sequencing albums, the creation of albums. We talked about Austin, Texas music experiences. It was fun, you know. He's been in the business for a while. He's got a lot of good insights. He's a chill dude. It was fun to have him on, and he makes really great music. Definitely check out his music on Spotify, or you can go to asinclairmusic.com. We're happy he's going to be part of the Too Damn Hot Affair. Again, Antone's, August 31st. Be there. Advance tickets are $10. You can get them at the door for $15. It's a great cause. It's going to be, I got to say the bands again. Sinclair, Lola Tried, Megafauna, Fair City Fire. I want to be hosting it. It's going to be fun, games, drinks, dancing. It's going to be a good time, friends. Please come. Enjoy the end of summer. It's the last time you're going to be able to wear white before Labor Day. Let's be real. We hope to see you there. And we're really happy you're listening to this episode. Enjoy.
Check.
Yeah.
Try not to chew my gum in it.
I don't know that, Chief.
Mind if I eat this egg salad? Are you guys egg salad people? I feel like I've been getting a lot of shit in my life lately for like an egg salad. Like people keep calling me that like I'm too old. Is it old person food? Because I used to eat it every single day when I was in elementary school.
I don't know. It's not my first choice, or it's not even like my 50th choice.
Yeah.
It's way down there.
Yeah. Well,
I'll have it.
I like my eggs prepared anyway, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, sometimes I need a salad, you know? Your body tells you when you need a salad. I'm like, I can't deny it.
So you guys have to help me one more time, though. This is like a lot of new people at one time.
Oh, yeah.
Brett, Matt, Joe,
Brian.
Okay. If I fucked that up, I'm sorry.
It's all good, dude.
Yeah.
No worries.
Okay. Brett, Matt, Joe, Brian.
Welcome. Say It Loud podcast. We've got Aaron here of Sinclair.
Hello.
How you doing, man? Got Brett, Brian,
Hello.
Hey.
Joe. I'm Matt. Welcome. You guys will all be at the Too Damn Hot Affair August 31st at Antone's. Shaping up to be the hottest show of the summer.
Hell
I just came up with that. I didn't even write it down.
Good for you.
Yeah, love that place. We've done it a couple times. This lineup, very excited about it. We were listening to some Sinclair stuff, actually, for the last week or so, but some today, and Lola Tried. It's going to be a good, I think, Megafaun's going to be there too. But it's going to be a very rockin' show, but with all bands that I think have their own identity and clear, like, identities and sounds, I think. So I don't know if that was the intention of how you guys put that together.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
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 I just wanted some good rock and roll, man. I don't know. And, everybody's got their own thing going on. And it was really cool, kind of, as a team, kind of talking about who would be good for the show and stuff, and finding everybody. And, you know, I've actually been a fan of yours since I heard Cars, I think, on the radio for the first time, maybe like, it was well over a year ago. I think I even like showed you that song on our way to like a San Antonio gig or something.
I think we're going to H-E-B in shirts to play for 3 hours. Or some shit.
Yeah,
like
man,
that,
we do that a lot. But I was like, man, this guy's awesome. And then I went back and listened to like the album, Get Out of the City. Is that
Yeah.
Get Out of My City, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and you got a new record this year
shit.
too.
Yeah.
Cat Paws.
Cat paws.
Cat paws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, where does that name come from? Sorry, we were just like talking before this about how you can ask like the most inane quote. I'm actually very curious about Cat Paws though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
really
that's
wanna know.
cool.
Yeah.
So this record was a different experience for me where it's kind of in chunks, 3 or 4 song chunks every few months in the studio with mostly, not all different musicians, but a few different drummers. And the guys I used to play with started touring with Matt Vasquez, and they'd been with me for a long time, but they started hitting the road all the time, and I still wanted to make stuff. So As you know, Austin has a very nice, rich, diverse, pool of musicians. And a bunch of the bands I play in, a bunch of people play different instruments and different things across maybe, I don't know, 10 bands or something. So there were some people that I was able to call on that I already knew pretty well. And we could go rehearse maybe 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 songs, and then go to the studio and record them. So that happened for maybe like a year and a half. And then sort of like picked what songs were going to be on the record. Instead of like going and recording all 10 songs at one time, which I had always done, you know. So, and I had no idea what I was going to call it or when it was going to come out or anything like that. So when I was kind of finally done with it, I still had no idea about any of that stuff. And we were watching fireworks on 4th of July, me and my wife and the kids, and my sister and her husband and parents. And she knew I'd been thinking about it, and like this firework hit, and like so my wife does this thing, like you can't see this on the podcast, but like, psh, which is a cat paw, basically, like shut the fuck up. Like don't cat paw me. Yeah. And then, so there's this firework, and it kind of looked like a cat paw, and I was like, it looks like a cat paw. She's like, you should call it cat paws, and I was like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And then like a week later, like I did it, and she was like, no, you didn't do that, did you? Like, I was just joking. I was like, no, yeah, I liked it. We did it. Like, it was like, made
She's
the
like
cover.
cat paw to cat paw.
Cat paw to cat paw.
It is kind of fun to
It's
do
like,
that. You know, you can either name it a title track or something, or you can just pick some inside joke in your life and just it works for you. You know?
She was like, I wasn't serious about that. I'm like, yeah, I thought it was cool. Whatever.
I'm curious about the album cover because there's something that's so mundane, but so it makes me feel a lot, but nothing at the same time.
I like that. That's
Does
cool.
that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
cool.
the tones, the colors, it's like some sepia tone and then just plain, but there's something fascinating about it.
Yeah, so all the pictures on the record our drummer Blake took. Okay. He plays on maybe 3 or 4 songs on the record because the drummers were kind of spread out. But he's who normally plays with me now. He plays drums in Royal Forest. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Royal Forest or not.
Familiar.
Great band. This guy, Justin, also plays in that band. This is his studio.
Cool.
Where we did most of the record, honestly.
What studio is it?
King Electric.
Yeah,
we did most of it there. Cars was held over from Danny Reich's place from the last record that it just didn't get finished in time, and so it just kind of got held over. But so those are all Blake's pictures, and like he just has an Instagram account and he travels a lot, and I was just like, I love his pictures. I just thought that picture was really cool because it's just like,
I'd agree.
For exactly what you said, it's like
there's something about it, but nothing special. Like that's very strange.
Isn't King Electric where they did Austin Uncharted? Isn't that where we went? Is it like on Burnett or something behind the Enterprise?
It is actually it's like in that Lamar, and it's in that triangle between Lamar and Burnett and Lamar.
Where it meets Burnett.
Yeah,
back in there.
So that's
Little
we've been
warehouse.
in there.
You go in there?
Yeah. We've been
Awesome
in there
studio.
for the
Yeah.
Austin Uncharted thing. It was cool. Yeah.
Lights above the drummer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sound.
It's like a Benihana at one point, and there's just like a big
the oven, the chimney oven,
the fan, the ceiling or a vent rather, whatever.
That's funny.
Oh, you mean on top of the drummer?
Yeah.
Floors down.
Yeah. Exactly. There's like there's
Justin
a board.
And like built that, and it comes down on a winch to like just deaden the drums and the
Oh,
cymbals
no
and
kidding.
stuff.
That's awesome.
We didn't know it did that. It just kind of.
Yeah, it lowers and goes up, so
Oh,
you
cool.
can like use it or not, you know.
Yeah.
Put
That's
it right
rad.
down on top and deaden everything out.
Super
Yeah,
cool.
they like custom made that. It's really, he's always really inventive with stuff like that. He's like always doing stuff.
That's cool.
That's super cool. Yeah.
It's a good trait.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. It's, like the older you get, I have more respect for people than anything that just keep doing things.
Yeah,
You know, it's like it's so easy to just let yourself stop
Totally.
and like just get sucked into like the monotony of everyday life. But it's like,
Yeah, they like.
oh, you're still doing stuff. Wow, man.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
You
You're
make
there.
stuff with your hands.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to make stuff with my hands.
Yeah,
so
right.
I don't know.
When I was listening to the Cat Paul's album, I noticed when we put out albums, and I imagine most bands, there's a thought process behind the song and the order and everything.
Yeah.
And it seemed to me there was just a natural build from the beginning, and then you kind of just like natural build the whole way. It was that. I'm
Cool.
assuming that's you did that on purpose, or did you even think about it, or?
Yeah, I think sequencing is always like really hard, right? After you work on everything for so long and put all like your energy in, and you're like, oh, well, fuck, now I have to actually put all this shit together.
You're right.
And you can tell when you really like records when that's done well.
Yep.
You know, like.
Yeah.
So actually, my friend Michael Kincaid did that for me. Do you guys know Michael Kincaid? I don't know.
No.
He was in Milwaukee's Fate.
Yeah, he was a singer in What Made Milwaukee Famous.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's
Someone
the
just
one,
asked
yeah.
me about that band today, actually,
Yeah.
on a tour.
Yeah.
Like she was like,
they're about to do some reunion shows.
Oh,
like,
oh,
in
that's
a few
cool.
weeks.
Very cool.
But he's a great dude. He still plays around town. He's got like a wedding band, and he plays all the time. He's actually my favorite singer in town. He can sing like an angel. But he's also very opinionated, which is cool. And I was just like, here, I don't know. And he was like, do this. And I was like, thank you.
Nice.
So
it's nice to have that outside.
yeah. And like I said, it had been like a year and a half that we'd been doing all these songs in different batches or different musicians, different sessions, what songs to do. I think we had like maybe 16 or 17 by the time we were done. So I think we narrowed it down to 11. He kind of helped me with all that stuff. And I really trust him, and it was just good to have like somebody that is super opinionated, and like he's also very OCD about everything. So it's like he's like, because this one ends like this and this one starts like that, and like he's, you know,
Yeah.
super.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
super
Yeah,
But
no,
into it.
he's like, well, he thinks about how they flow into each other and
Yeah.
like kind of which direction they all move whenever they're in that
Mhm.
order. So that's cool. That's
and
good.
what I came up with like was totally different than what he did.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Well,
let's just do that. And I
sometimes
sent it to
you're-
Justin, who did the record, and he was like, yeah, I think it's great. And I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. You
So
guys-
like, no, you didn't have any like gripes with it or anything, or did you just kind of just go with it? Like,
No, yeah, I just
yeah.
kind of went with it, man, because I mean, we talked about it, and he was like, I'd love to help you, and I do trust him, and like he's
Yeah.
awesome, and that was kind of like his role at the very end of the process was like he just sequenced it for me, and like, I mean, we sent it to Justin, the engineer, and I listened to it, and I was like, yeah, I think it's cool. Like, I can't fucking tell anyways, you know.
right.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know anymore. It's been like 2 years or a year and a half. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. And you get attached to, I'm sure you guys know, you get attached to certain songs more than others. And maybe that's not always healthy for figuring that stuff out
Yeah.
too, you know? So it's like,
Get too close to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
So-
interesting because you write each song, but you don't necessarily write it based on the other song. So all of a sudden you're sitting with 10 to 12 songs. You're like, oh wait, how do these go together? Do they go together? How
Yeah.
do, are they even meant to go together? Like I wonder if you would even like if you had like I don't know 14 songs, but you're trying to pick 10 or 12 to go on a record. How would you even pick? Would you pick your best songs, or would you pick the ones that you thought were meant to be part of an album? I don't even. How would you prioritize?
Yeah,
those
and do you even
things?
know what your best songs are
Right,
either?
that's true too,
A lot of
yeah.
times, or at least for me, like, I think it's really cool, but it's kind of fucking stupid to other people.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
So
nice to
I
have
distance
those
myself
guys.
at the end.
So it's
Yeah.
nice to have somebody at their like just have that other opinion,
Mhm.
outside opinion.
I mean that trust is like the big word there. Like you trust him to like really take care of you
Yeah.
and your project, put like some really good thought into it.
I
and
did.
That's huge. Yeah.
But I mean, I also liked what he did too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like,
True.
if it was like, no, that's stupid, then I wouldn't have done it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like,
that
it
makes
was
sense.
like, thank you. Cool. I can move on now.
Well,
Awesome.
it was
Yeah.
nice. It flowed really nice.
That's,
I
that's
thought,
nice you
as
noticed
a-
that. That's cool.
as a full album, and that's. I feel like that art's been. That's not completely lost, but it's
Yeah.
singles.
It's not
and
popular. Yeah,
It's not as popular as it used to be. Yeah, and it's nice to hear full albums.
The
flow
world of
really
Spotify.
nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just go-
There's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
singles
cool.
and yeah.
I resisted for a while, and then after I got it, I was like, why didn't I get this a long time ago? You can listen to anything you want to hear.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
right? It's
Remember
all
when I used
there.
to, when I was 12 years old, I used to mow lawns for a job. And 13, I had a little fanny pack with my CD player, and I'd bring
Right.
I can
Yeah.
only fit like 3 CDs in my fanny pack, so I got to pick which 3 I want to use for the next hour. And I halfway in, I had to flip out and pick a
And now
CD,
that-
and I was like, man, if somebody would have told me, you basically have a watch someday, or you have a phone, you can listen
Right.
to any song you ever wanted to. I'd be like, man,
And now that Tool's on there, everything is on there.
Everything.
Finally,
Yeah,
everything is
everything's
on
on
there.
there.
Thank God.
We had a Tool moment on
Christmas
tour
in July. Yeah, I had to listen
They
to it
weren't
through.
on there yet, so we were going through this. Like a week after we got back, they came on.
Yeah, we were listening to him through YouTube.
Yeah. So
Greatest
anytime,
hits, kind of like YouTube videos or live
if the
videos.
phone, the screensaver came on or whatever, it would stop.
It would
because it's
stop,
YouTube.
and it was just a
Yeah.
whole thing. And then we get back, and they're like, "Guess what's coming out?"
I guess it's all over. Fucking.
And I've had Spotify for a long time. I just discovered they make you weekly mixes based on what you listen to. And it's
I love
scary.
that.
It's
Yeah.
creepy. They're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I do like this. It
The
feels
whole
like they're
internet.
like.
The whole
whole
internet.
internet's scary.
Well, like I said,
That's true, yeah.
They're all doing that shit.
I guess every advertisement I get is also.
Well, the weird thing is too. Before, so our listeners, we played an exhilarating game, this horse game that Matt brought from Half Price Books, and we were on the road, and there was an ad for it on Amazon. Like I thought this was some old game that's not even a thing
Yeah, it
anymore,
is,
and all of a
yeah.
sudden on Amazon it was like horse racing game, like
Yeah.
$15.
They found you.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So when you're, for you, this album process, I mean, it seems like it was extended in terms of like how long it took you to do it and getting people involved.
Yeah.
Is it, when you consider it as a band effort, is it still your baby and like you just find the right people to fulfill kind of your goals for it, or do you welcome kind of? It seems like you also maybe welcome some input, or you see yourself as more of a director or or kind of just a member of this outfit, yeah.
I would say more of a director, but I'm really lucky to play with really talented, awesome people. So, there's a core. There's like all the people that I get to play with. I usually trust their opinions, and I'm also always open for ideas. I think if somebody, if you like and trust the people you're playing with, if somebody has an idea, that you should try it, and then you'll know if it's cool or not. And it's usually I find it to be pretty quick. Everybody's like, thanks for trying that. That's not that cool. Or like, damn, that was fucking awesome. Fuck yeah, good idea. When I was like in my early 20s and stuff playing in bands, like when everybody's young, there's a lot of egos flying around and everybody's like, wants their fucking thing to be there. But I'm older now, and I got over that a long time ago. And I feel like all the people I play with are on that too. It's just like it's about making something cool. It's not about who's in charge or whose part is the loudest or whether your part makes it or your idea makes it. It's just about trying ideas and trying to come out with the best thing possible.
Yeah, absolutely. We operate on that same kind of idea.
Yeah.
We'll hear something out loud and be like, "Oh no, that was crap."
Yeah.
Let's get
You
rid of
gotta
that.
try it.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I don't like it when somebody's like, and you're like, no, that's stupid. And you're like, no, you haven't fucking heard it yet.
Right. Yeah.
So you gotta try it.
And most of the time, if someone's talking to me, it's like, "Oh, just," because as a drummer as well, they're like, "Oh, just do that like, bump, bump, bump,
Oh, yeah.
just do that real quick." And so it's like
The
easier.
bump, bump,
Yeah, it's
drum.
easier to like
Yeah.
be like, okay, well, why don't we play it? Let's hear it. And I mean, rightly so. Whenever I'm trying to tell them, like, it's kind of like this, like now, like it sounds like that.
Yeah.
Could you just hit me one of them?
Hit me
I don't know what
there.
notes that is, but just hit me that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like it's good to verbally it's hard to communicate that sound when everybody kind of hears it and they're like, okay, yeah, I think I know what's going on, and you hear it and you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that wasn't cool, or that was.
And I think you get better at articulating stuff like that
Yes,
over time.
absolutely,
Like I think
absolutely.
we used to be really bad at that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's like, I agree. I think it's worth trying everything.
It is.
Yeah.
And then I think if you're playing with the right people and everyone sort of is on the same page of like the vision and stuff, like I
Right.
think it's probably going to make sense to everybody or nobody. Whatever
Yeah.
that idea is, like you try it, it's going to be like, "Oh, that makes the song better," or it doesn't.
Right.
You don't do so I agree, man. I think that is like that'd be good advice for younger bands, like throw that ego out a little bit, like
absolutely.
it can get in the way for sure.
Also, if you last week you listened to our Ham podcast, Brian didn't blink for 30 seconds,
Sims,
y'all.
Sims.
Or excuse me, our Sims podcast.
God damn it, Joe.
Cut out that one.
Yeah.
Joe.
If you listened to our Sims podcast last week, Brian didn't blink for 30 seconds just now, y'all,
Yes.
and we're gonna have to call somebody. So
Yeah.
Everyone
Brian.
back out of the room slowly.
back out of the room slowly.
So being the A Sinclair, I mean, it's that's the name of the band or the act. Are you comfortable making the final decision though, or being like, if somebody's like, I'm not feeling it, and you are you able to communicate that? Be like, well,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think this is how it's gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was just too much. I just couldn't handle like calling my band Aaron Sinclair. So A Sinclair was an idea a friend had, my friend Michael Malley, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I guess I could roll with that. You know, I could never have like my face on the front of my record or anything like that. So yeah, but it's definitely, I mean, I definitely write all the songs and bring them to the table and we work them out, you know? And yeah, definitely like, I'm glad we tried that, but I don't like that. But it's always about trying something. I really think. I think that's like a good morale for like a group of people. Like at least if you know like your idea can be heard, then that's cool. You know.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Makes a difference for sure.
And
yeah.
And it's the same for me too, man. Because I have some ideas sometimes too, and they're like, "Dude, that's kind of dumb." I'm like, "Yeah, I just need somebody to tell me that." All right, cool. Yeah, you're probably right. You know.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many times in life you need somebody to be like, you shouldn't have been doing that. Or why are you doing that?
Like,
That's not the best
been
move.
spending too much time alone.
That can almost be detrimental when you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Not that you hurt the feelings, but it's like you don't want somebody to feel bad about something, so you don't share it. And it's like, it would have been good to know. It would have been good to know this riff was shit, or this this doesn't fit together. Or,
Well, at least it gets vetted before it's out there too, right in the world. People hear it and they're like, you're like, oh shit. I wish somebody would have said something.
Yeah, it's always that trust though too. You know, people that you trust.
Yeah.
So is it? I'm kind of curious about this. I think you're the first person we've ever had on the podcast in this situation. I mean, you mentioned your wife named the album, and we learned that
right.
you have a 2 and a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
I think you're the first like family man we've ever had on the show.
Oh,
Can you
yeah?
remember any others? That I mean, maybe 1 or 2, but
I mean, nothing comes to mind right off. Well, I guess if you count, what was it?
Rick Steinberg.
oh yeah,
yeah,
sure,
Rick.
yeah.
Rick
And
Steinberg.
then
Rick Steinberg,
is
the artist.
AJ Vallejo have? He's got a family, right?
How old
I
are
Well,
we?
we definitely didn't talk about it. Though.
I don't know.
I know he's
I'm
got
27.
a wife, or I thought he did. Maybe
He has how old
He's
we
the
are. I'm
youngest.
27.
36.
36. Yeah.
30. Yeah.
31.
But how do you approach being a musician? I mean, that's your primary.
You work in a restaurant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just wonder how that inspires you too. Like, I mean, how it's changed the way. Has it changed the way you write? I mean, having
Having kids.
children, I would imagine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there used to, there's like a room in the back of the house where I used to, I still write at night. I don't write during the day. But I used to be able to go back there after my wife would go to sleep, and I could do whatever I wanted, garage band demos and stuff. But now the kids live back there, so that doesn't really work anymore. So I don't know. I just kind of, it's changed a lot, but it's still just the same. For me personally, writing songs, they always come in waves. And when I was younger, I used to freak out like, oh my God, I haven't written a song in like 3 months. And then boom, like, maybe 3 or 4 will come out really quick. So I just try not to sweat it. And like, when I hear something that I really like or inspires me, usually a few things will come out of that. And then I try to get them down and try to get some people together and go record. I've been doing that lately too. Got some new songs recorded, and it's the same thing. We're like figuring it out at home and got some guys together, and we just went. There's also a great engineer named Matt Gerhard that I like a lot, and he was in my neighborhood in a house. It was like 2 blocks over from my house, so I could just walk over there. And he's really fast and really smart, and we just go over there and record songs really quick. We'd rehearse them, 2 or 3 times and just go get them done. So I've been doing that more instead of like, I guess the difference is when I was younger and didn't have a family, it'd be like, we'd rehearse every week and get a group of songs together and get them all super tight and go to the studio and record a record. And now it's like, I got a song. Just go learn it and go record it.
That's cool.
Because it's like, I don't really have time to like, we don't rehearse every week anymore. The guys I play with play in a bunch of other bands. I'm busy when we need to rehearse. If we got a show coming up, we do. But it's not like, let's just go jam for 3 hours every Tuesday anymore.
Yeah.
I wish it was, because I love that shit.
Right.
For me, like, rehearsals like more fun than shows, and it's just fun to be in a room and like work on music and play with people,
Mess around. If you mess up, you go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet, cool.
3 hours, have some beers,
Right.
hang out with your friends, play music. That's the
In
best.
a way, that might be like the most creative time you have.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
when you're out performing, you're doing what you've already created, but that's the moment.
Yeah, it can become
rehearsal, you
stressful
could be
or fun or both, but. So yeah, I don't really get to do that anymore. I mean, sometimes, but not every week. Where like most of my life is like every Tuesday night or whatever was band practice. And do you guys have like a nightly
Monday nights?
Monday nights,
Yeah.
Is it like your favorite night of the week?
It can be.
Yeah,
I think it's just.
Do you look
kinda
forward to it? I
depends.
mean, I
No,
look forward to it every week.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Monday
it's
night,
just-
like everybody knows where you are.
Right.
Your friends, your family. Like Monday
Yeah.
nights,
Yeah.
don't even ask me. Like
Right.
on rehearsal.
Yeah.
Right?
I have it off for work. Like they know like
Yeah.
Monday nights. Yeah, exactly. Joe has band practice on Monday nights.
Brett never comes to my bachelor watching parties. I'm really bummed about that.
Yeah. They do. Him and my fiance have some friends over, and they do bachelor or bachelorette nights here, and it's fun. When I come home from rehearsal, and
They do that when you have rehearsal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
and I'm slightly buzzed, and then they are slightly
we're-
buzzed,
we're
and we just
completely
kind
shit-faced.
of come in and just. It's usually good people hanging, so
Yeah.
it's always a fun time. But
Of course.
That's my version of rehearsal, watching somebody get broken up with on TV.
on
Love
Mondays,
It never gets old. I love it.
I think the rehearsals for the most part, like I think the ones, because we definitely have like, we're intentional about our rehearsals. Like it's like we've got a show coming up, we're gonna tighten up for that show. We got a recording coming up, we're gonna play to a metronome and kind of get that stuff. So it's like it kind of depends. Like with if I look forward to them more, like on like what the intention of that
Right.
is.
Oh,
Like if
yeah,
it's about
yeah.
writing, I love that shit.
Yeah.
If it's like this is our chance to be creative, or we're gonna spend half of practice being creative,
yeah.
that's great. That always feels, especially when something hits,
Yeah.
it's like,
Somebody's like, I got a really good idea.
yeah, and then it works, and it's
Yeah.
like, yes.
That's kind of how we wrote our last album. It came in like, man, it came quick. 'Cause we were at that point, we had just recently lost a guitarist, so we went to a 3-piece power trio, and we even toured as a trio. And then I don't know what happened. We just put on the writing shoes, and it was a
Do you
mad
guys all-
dash of just songs coming out.
Do you guys all write, or is everybody?
Yeah.
I would
mean,
say Brian probably does. He does all the lyrics,
Mhm.
and then and then we'll do like maybe he'll come with a riff, and then we'll work it out there, or Joe will have a drum part, or I'll come with something,
Cool.
an idea.
Pretty democratic.
It is,
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, definitely.
And it is very much that, like, yeah, let's try that. Even if it sounds crazy at the time, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you heard it somehow. Let's figure out how to make that come to life and
Right.
see if
Yeah.
it works at that point.
That's
And
the
even-
worst when when you have an idea, somebody does it like really stupidly. And you're like, see,
Oh
that
my
sucked. And you're like, no, but dude, that's not what I was fucking talking about.
I hate it. I hate it. It's like,
you got to do it right first.
yeah,
And
let's
we'll-
nail it, and then we can actually decide.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that sucked.
They sabotage it. on
Yeah.
purpose,
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't had anybody do that. I mean, that was when I was like younger. That was like in my early 20s when people used to do shit like that. But
Are the guys that are playing
looking
on
at the ceiling the whole time. Like,
fucking hate you. I don't want to be here.
Are the guys that are playing on the 31st? Are they part of they're part of the record at all? Or are they?
Yeah, so the 31st, all the guys I play with are on their record somewhere. But,
Nice.
So I was looking up, just seeing the guys in the band, and you don't have a list of what they play. It's just their names. So I put together a list of what I think they play.
oh, that's cool.
I want to see if I.
You mean like
if I-
online?
On their
Oh, yeah.
Facebook and
In
or
the-
your website either. I couldn't
Yeah,
find any.
in the vinyl. There's like a detailed.
Okay. Yeah,
of what everybody plays.
I was searching online for
Yeah.
it.
Let's
So
see what you got, Brett.
That's
You
too,
just-
it was too much.
So right here.
Let's see.
So
see
right-
if you can get this.
well,
Based
I
on
looked
the-
at a photo so I
Cool.
could get names and just picture who I think was who.
I'm down. This sounds
So
fun.
you've got 3 guitarists, including yourself. So obviously you guitars and vocals.
That takes out one.
So we've got Michael, Jim, Ben, and Blake. Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
those are the other guys in the band.
That's like the main live band I play with right now. But so go on. I'll stop talking.
Oh no, yeah. So based on
Based on only names.
only
Just- yeah,
name
almost nothing.
and
Yeah.
picture, of
Based
it.
on my ocular investigation.
Yeah. So we got Michael, who I think plays guitar, and probably does backups. Be my guess. We got Jim, who also plays guitar. Ben is a drummer, and Blake has to play the bass.
Man, you were really close, honestly. You just got the bass player and the drummer messed up.
Switched up.
Wow,
Yeah,
rhythm
you're pretty good on the other
No,
ones.
that's
I was
rhythm
like,
section.
Which, rhythm section, we'll say
You know-
they're interchangeable.
Here's my thought was too. I was saying to Matt, I was like, all right, well, Blake and Ben are the last on there, so Blake's probably the bass player.
Do we put Brett?
I was
do
like-
we put
then I
Brett
was like-
Ladd? Yeah, says the bass player. Do we put Brett? We need to go check
I don't
our
know.
list.
I don't think so. I don't, but that was just my thought at that moment.
This
It was
is Brett's
all right,
crapper
Blake's
help right
probably
now.
the bass player. He's the very end. Ben's above him, so he's the drummer, and then it's going to be the guitarist.
Wow, you got all 3 guitar players right. That's pretty impressive.
Nice, hell yeah.
I just thought it was funny because I was like trying
That's
to. I was
good,
like,
yeah.
Well, he doesn't have it. There's nowhere. Like I searched. Yeah, I searched for a little bit. Nothing super
Yeah,
detailed.
I don't,
but
for some reason I don't.
Ocular investigation.
yeah. I checked your website out, and
I think it's kind
speaking
of
of which,
cool.
I
mean,
dig the.
so I'm 42, and like when I was like a teenager, all the bands I liked, like you didn't know shit about them.
Yeah,
And I thought that was fucking cool.
Just what was
you
in the
know?
liner notes,
Yeah,
basically,
it's
yeah.
like there was like mystery there. And now it's like with social media and like
Right.
everything, it's like
You know what they bought on
everything's
Saturday.
in your fucking face. Yeah. So like, and that's just. I mean, I get it. That's the way the world works now. But that's not what I grew up with. And not to say that I can't change, but I think it's kind of cool if like you don't know everything about everything. Like,
Right.
Yeah. It's
some
also.
music, man. Like here's some art and some music. Like check it out.
Right.
I've kind of find it on the flip side of that, just to play devil's advocate. It's kind of nice to know a little bit about these people and go, oh, they're just normal dudes or girls, just like me, and it's like they can do it. Oh, I can do it.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
like, and there's, I know that's not necessarily the case for most people's thinking on that, and it's especially if you get to the celebrity status, it's a
Yeah.
little creepy. But just someone from that age or from my
Totally,
angle
just
on
being
that.
able to inspire other people to make their pass at making art and music and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's totally cool.
When I was surfing your website, I found what
Did
I
you say?
really.
Did you just say you were surfing?
I was surfing, man. I was surfing the website,
Wow.
man.
Yeah,
Wow.
just imagine you on a surfboard, just
All right.
in the web. In
yeah.
the web.
Continue.
A nice Midwest boy from Indiana, just surfing.
Found your website on altavista.com. Yeah.
I really dug the shit
Dogpile.com, yeah.
out of the just the homepage where it had all your posters.
Oh, cool.
That shit was fucking awesome.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know why I liked it so much, but it was just cool to see like posters from which I'm assuming years and years of playing, and just all these different lineups you've
Yeah.
played with, in Austin bands and all over from traveling stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I had never seen that before
Thanks.
on a homepage of a band.
Cool. We had like an old website. I mean, this one's pretty old too, but like I never update. Actually, now that you bring it up, I haven't fucking looked at that thing in fucking probably 6 months. But for a minute, what's this?
Dude, get out your board and go surfing, man.
Squarespace
Get
or
out there.
what?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
Squarespace.
Yeah, somebody showed that, and that's
Oh, yeah, good old
really
Squarespace.
cool because you can just if you actually pay attention to it. So I just used to throw everything up there, and
You can customize,
yeah. And
Pretty
this
easy.
podcast brought to you by Squarespace. like a lot of the other podcasts are.
Yeah.
There's a good number of
It was
they always have a
user-friendly for me.
Squarespace.
I'm like fucking old and computer stupid, so man, I'm cursing a lot. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're right.
It's PG rated.
But you're right though. You
Good.
can throw a picture in there and it'll just scroll up and
Yeah.
it'll like make it where it's presentable and nice and the font and the letters and stuff. We Matt Jones built
God, it
ours.
sounds so
Oh, yeah.
old talking about the internet right now. You could put pictures on there.
You can put flyers up there.
can scroll up and
It's
down.
very user friendly.
Did you know they have these moving pictures called GIFs? I think it's called GIF. I think is what they call it.
GIFs.
Oh,
Giffies.
So true.
What I'm
Yeah.
curious about, like, kind of going in that vein, not necessarily being old dudes or whatever, but you guys have all been in the business for a while. I was just kind of thinking about this today because, there's ups and downs, highs and lows. Like, you make something and then you go through a period of writing or there's not much going on. Like, how do you maintain, like, a fervor or an energy to keep making music or keep doing it? I mean, what's going on? Okay. It's like-
Lone Star burp.
Yeah. Lone Star burp. Okay, yeah. 'Cause it's it'd be easy to just stop. 'Cause it's not a business of success. Most people won't. It won't yield like a career for them necessarily. But
mean,
there's obviously some kind of love or passion for it. But how do you?
That
I don't know.
helps.
How do you maintain passion? I guess really.
I think it's like that for any artist.
Yeah.
Painters, writers, like musicians, like nobody's ever gonna make it. Very few do, right? I don't know. I mean, either you like doing it or you don't. And if you don't, you should stop.
Yeah, I think it's kind of in you, like, right?
Right.
Like the passion for it, and
Right.
it's like something you have to do sometimes more than something that you want to do. Even at times, it's like, yeah, I have to keep writing and have to keep putting out music and playing music. It's just who I am. I don't know.
Right.
I actually don't know who I would be without it. It's kind of weird. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. I like that. I like what you said.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like when I was younger, like I was like, if I'm like 42, which I am now, and I'm like playing at the local bar down the street, like, am I going to be cool with that? Because if I'm not, I should probably like get out now. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll be cool with that.
Right.
Because I mean, I've always thought like if your like goal is to like be famous or make money or even be able to support yourself, then like you're probably going to be like really disappointed. Because it doesn't happen for many people. And there's a lot of really talented people too.
There is, yeah.
Like doing great things, So
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully it makes you happy and you enjoy it. And if it does, then keep doing it. And if it bums you out that like you're not making it or like your shit isn't popping, then like that can be really detrimental too, But I think also with social media for me now too, like you really have to check yourself because you're always looking at stuff and you're like, see things happening for other people. And that can like, for me, it can get in my head sometimes. I'm like, dude, snap out of it. Like, that's good. Things are happening for other people. Like, just do your thing. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't,
Right. Keep moving.
But you can't, like, for me, I always have to just make sure I don't, like, get wrapped up in that, like, in that side of things, because
Like comparing or just like measuring yourself.
Because that's not healthy. And, like, it should be enough. The way I've thought about it is it should be enough for me to enjoy what I'm doing and like what I'm doing. And if I don't, then I need to stop.
There you go.
And that's my take on it. I don't know what you guys think, but
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, it's like anything else. There's ups and downs. There's times where you're like beating your head against the wall, and it's like, what am I doing? What are we doing? And then there's times where you're like, okay, now I remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like,
and how like lucky are we that we even get to do this shit anyways? Like,
Yeah,
that's
right.
true. Do this shit, like,
especially
not a lot
in
of
this
people
city.
No.
get to like play music and like work and hang out.
Right.
That's
it's crazy.
pretty special in itself.
Like a few years ago, if you would have been like, oh, by the way, in 3 years you guys are going to have a show at Antone's on a Saturday night in the summer with these bands, you'd be like, what? No way.
It's true, man.
Now it's almost, I guess you can never take it for granted how cool that it can be sometimes to you.
It's fun. Just to be a part of the city's kind of just culture or music culture, that's gone back forever. It's just cool to be just part of that scene, part of that group, that says like we were awesome musicians at one point, or Texas musicians or whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it's just cool. It's cool to be a part of it.
Yeah, I always find that with Austin especially. I mean, it's like any town. Like if you can be an Austin musician for many years, that has its own value. Like you don't have to be an LA band, or you go on tour here and there, but it's like if you can be a staple or a name in Austin, that has its own value, and you keep doing that. You keep doing your day jobs, but you still get to play at cool places in one of the coolest towns and some of the coolest venues. And
we meet people all the time that are like, "Oh, you guys are musicians in Austin?" Like that itself, like carries its weight, because there's been some really amazing musicians coming out of Austin. So like, it's just cool that itself like carries its weight.
Yeah, does that? Because you guys just got back from a tour, does that reflect upon you when you go to smaller towns or towns that aren't as musically inclined?
Well,
in terms of their culture.
I mean, I think we just get so spoiled here in Austin with how great all the bands are, here, and that's why I think part of the reason I love going on tour is because most places don't have that kind of rich music scene where like there's great original stuff all the time, and it's nice to go somewhere where like they're more hungry for it because they just don't get it all the time. In Austin, a lot of times it's kind of like it's easy to get a little jaded. I'm like that myself. Sometimes when I go out to shows, I don't want to be, but it's like I've just seen so much great stuff. I'm over, just like I'm at my max of like, what. It's hard for me to go out and see a band in Austin and be like, oh my God, Mm-hmm. But then you go on the road and it's like people might not hear that kind of stuff. Like original rock bands come out and play a tight set and do, that kind of stuff, like as often at least. So it's nice to get out there and kind of bring that energy elsewhere.
How often are you guys hitting the road right now?
About once a year or so,
Mm-hmm.
for a couple weeks.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing crazy, but.
So like when I first moved up to Austin, so I lived in Indiana most of my life, and then a small 5 years in San Antonio, and then made it up here. And you're talking about getting jaded, Brian, and it's like it totally is. But when I first came in, I remember I was talking to Matt about this. I was like, I wanted to bring this up, and so you guys can answer some of these questions or this question. But it's like, do you recall, Aaron? I don't know. Are you an Austin native or?
No, Houston, though, Texas.
Okay, so I mean, when you came to Austin, it was fresh and it was new. And I remember coming to Austin, and not the very first show I saw, but the very first show that like changed the way I thought about like just the city and the music scene. And it must have been 2008 or 7, somewhere around there. But I just by chance walked in the Continental Club with a couple buddies. And we were walking by, and we actually saw this kind of like, we heard the music come out, and we were new to the city, and it was like, oh, Continental Club, I heard this place, this was a great place to see music. And it kind of like peeked in, and there was some kind of like Weezer wannabe band that was playing or something, and it was like, oh, they sound good or whatever. It was like, well, fuck it, let's go in. We paid the cover charge, and we went in, and they were fine, they were great. And then they got off, and this band came on next, and it had like a 3-piece horn section and some keys, and they started playing, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was Black Joe Lewis. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
And the Honey
And
Bears.
it changed everything for me at that moment for about the scene, like, just the Austin scene. And I'll always remember that. I don't know if you guys have a similar experience of seeing music in the town or not.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, you want to go? You
Go for it.
I was 18 whenever I first came to Austin. So I wasn't able to get into like Continental Club or like any other spots, but I was here for South by. The first time I ever came to Austin was for a long time was during South by, and there was a tent. It was during South by, so like this is a little silly too of like having, this is also a claim to how great South by I feel like used to be as far as in like getting to these moments and seeing some of these moments. And there's still moments you can find at South by, but like we went to this tent. We happened to end up just in a random, we couldn't get into the show we wanted to see, so we went in this random tent, and there ended up being a super group playing of like a bunch of bands that me and a buddy of mine had really been into. And these are like kind of emo bands, screamo bands, like bands called Cheetos and Pierce the Veil and silly bands like that and stuff. And they all got together, and Dance Gavin Dance was another one, but they all got together and they played this show. And it was the only time that they've ever done this supergroup performance. And it was at South by. It was in Austin. They've never done it any other time. And I'll talk to people about that band and stuff, and they're like, man, did they ever do anything? I'm like, yeah, they had one show. And people are like, that's nuts, that's crazy. And I've seen people from that show now and tell them about it, like, oh, I was there, and I think I remember your face, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, whoa. And that was just like a moment that I was like, wow, these bands like come together, or something happens in Austin that these bands don't feel like doing a reunion show anywhere or doing this kind of supergroup show anywhere else. They did it here. They did it in this town with each other, like, and these people at the show got to see it. And that for me was like, whoa, Austin's the spot where these bands come together or whatever, you know what I mean? And then moving here and getting into it was just, yeah. So that was mine, but.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Aaron, do you remember the first time you came to Austin, or first time you kind of saw a show, or that kind of was like, man?
Not really.
Were you doing music in Houston before you moved to Austin?
Yeah, I was in high school. Well, so I was in high school in Houston, and I moved to Boston, and then I played music in Boston for 13 years, and then moved here.
How was that?
And what's the
cool.
Boston music scene like? I don't even.
It was great back then.
I always feel like that's a punk scene or something like that. I don't
It was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was all sorts of stuff, but the
Yeah.
bands I played in were punk bands and
Yeah.
like post-punk bands, like Noisy Shit.
Hell yeah.
There was a lot of that good stuff happening up there.
Did you get into any fights up there? While you were in a punk band?
No, I don't like to get in fights.
Nice. I could
No.
sense that about you. I could sense it about you. I was
There's
No,
a group of
I-
softies
yeah, I
in
was
this room
expecting
right
that.
here. Yeah.
I'd back up.
nice.
I'm a
Nice.
corner kid. Yeah. There were though. Yeah, it was a rough town. I mean, it's definitely like you could get in fights really quick if you wanted to.
Right. And then when you came down to Austin, like, what? I don't know. What was the first show you remember about being in Austin? Is there one that stood out at all?
You know, not really. That sounds awful, but I don't. My brain doesn't really work that well anymore. The two kids and like I'm old. Like I don't really
Right.
know where I am most of the time.
You ever see Aaron wandering down the street?
Yeah. I moved. I had like also a country band called Frank Smith. That when I moved down here, that 3 of the guys moved down with me, and we played here in town for a while. And it was called Frank Smith for like till maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and then I changed it to Sinclair because it kind of turned into like a rock band.
Nice.
So we came down here and together, and we're doing that stuff. I mean,
What about an Sinclair show?
I remember Emos was. I
Yeah.
remember going to Emos a lot, and like playing at Emos the first time was like a really big deal to me. I'd played there with my bands on tour, but the old Emos was awesome. And
Downtown,
we used to hang
right?
out at Mohawk all the time when it started. Yeah, the
Yeah.
old one. And the Hole in the Wall when I moved here was like the spot too. So all the people I played with, we all hung out like in the late 2000s. 2007 to 10, I guess. Those were like our spots, and we just all hung out there and played, and everybody's playing each other's bands and stuff. And
That's awesome.
you mentioned Black Joe Lewis. Jim, the guy that plays guitar with me, is leaving on tour with him tomorrow and his band.
Oh, really? Nice.
Nice.
And our bass player Ben left on tour with Molly Birch like 2 days ago. So
Wow.
that's
Holy
why
shit.
I've like my list has grown of people that I play with because like
Yeah. yeah. See you later.
Yeah.
See you when you get back.
yeah.
I look.
But Jim will be here for the show we play. He's gonna get back like
Oh, nice.
a few days before.
Cool.
Just gone
Nice.
for 2 weeks with Joe Lewis. So
Nice. That's awesome.
should be
That's cool.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude.
Cool. It's a little simple truth. So this is where we look up some questions from just totally reasonable people on Yahoo, which is a totally reasonable community of internet users. And they have questions for us, and we find ourselves in a unique position of being able to answer them. So I'm going to go around the circle and ask everybody a question. We can all jump in, though, and crowdsource the answers for this because we want to deliver the best information that we can for these folks. We'll start on this. We'll start with Brett. Hey, Brett. This is a question.
For you. Just for you.
Yeah. Hey, Brett. Hey, Brett. Is it okay for my husband and I to have sex in the living room in front of our 2-year-old?
Oh man.
Oh.
I feel. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know.
Is this a better question for Aaron?
I would say no.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like no would be the right
So
answer.
she says she's only 2, so she's not going to remember it. Kids don't
Oh.
develop memories at that age.
No, you're
There's
just trying.
more?
You're just trying to help yourself sleep
I'm
at night.
pretty sure that's not true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely not true.
Well, is she sleeping?
Well, I don't understand why you'd
If
want to
she's
do
sleeping, I think it would be okay.
that. Like, wouldn't it take you out of the game a little bit? Then?
Yeah.
It'd
you
take
prob-
me out of the game.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
probably have other rooms in the house, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
maybe
assuming
if
it's
she's
not a
sleeping in the
studio
living room,
apartment.
like go
Yeah.
have sex somewhere else and
Yeah.
have fun.
Yeah.
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 Or I don't
Get
know,
into
maybe
it.
they like little kids. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
strange.
Yeah, that's a whole. That's a
It's
different
a weird
direction.
question.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say
That's a strange
no.
question.
It's strange.
The answer is no.
No.
A
Yeah,
hard
it's-
no?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
A hard
yeah.
no.
A hard no.
All right. I'm surprised somebody had to ask that.
We're pretty
on
much
the
just
internet.
shaming these people
How
for their
hard?
bad questions. Basically.
Does this person know Brett?
yeah.
You seem like the guy to
Hey,
ask.
Brett.
Hey,
Brett.
Brett. Yeah.
You're the only person that I can get a true answer. Yeah. All right, Brian. How did ancient civilizations protect themselves against dinosaurs like the mighty T-Rex?
Well,
There's a
I'm
little
trying to
history
think how
class
they
for
did
you,
it.
buddy.
Well, that's a really good question. I'm a little stumped right now.
Dinosaur Special Forces units.
They go
Yeah.
into a
The-
cave.
The Big Spear Club.
Anytime you can find yourself in like a corner where their head is filling the corner and their little arms can't get to you.
Yeah.
You're a good
No,
spot.
no sudden movements. I think I learned that in Jurassic Park.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably good. Probably
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Other
go,
than that-
don't go hide in the bathroom.
Caves.
Caves
Yeah.
are great. Caves were
Yeah.
probably
Caves.
the number one place, I imagine.
Yeah.
If you weren't in
Bombs.
like
Bombs.
bombs.
Yeah.
Bombs would be good.
Yeah.
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 Probably, yeah.
Cave bombs.
Flamethrowers or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just stop being prehistoric.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you
Stop
grow
living
up?
when just stop living when dinosaurs
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah. So caves, I think, is probably the best.
I'm sure people and dinosaurs lived at the same time.
Number one answer. Caves.
Ooh, maybe
Yeah.
lakes.
You know what? That's
Oh,
Yeah.
lakes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Godzilla.
I don't know if they
I
could
was-
swim though.
Yeah.
Like in Land
Back
Before
then,
Time. No, Land Before
people-
Time. That's the end of Land Before Time. They're
Oh,
like,
is
we
it?
have to lead T-Rex to this lake
Oh,
where he
shit.
can't swim, and they drop him in this lake.
That's what always messed me up.
Spoiler
about,
alert.
Spoiler alert, Land Before Time. If you hadn't
That
seen
movie
it,
anymore.
it came out 20 years ago. But
Guess I don't need to see that one anymore.
Take
but
it
that is
back.
how
Yeah.
they get rid of the T-Rex. They run him off a cliff into a lake.
Yeah.
Old Littlefoot.
Littlefoot, dude.
Peachtree.
Mm-hmm.
Petrie.
Peachy.
Oh,
Petrie.
Petrie.
Sarah.
Peachtree. Sarah.
Sarah
Rocky.
Littlefoot. Rocky.
All
Yeah.
those,
Yeah. Those are all.
And what was it
Tree
Sharp
stars.
Tooth?
Oh yeah, sharp tooth.
yeah.
Right?
Ooh, sharp tooth.
A lot of good lessons in that movie.
Yeah.
Tree stars.
Yeah.
So caves.
Caves and lakes.
Water, yeah.
Caves
Yeah.
and lakes. Yep.
That's what I was like, how does Godzilla like live in the water? He's
That's
got
a
little
good-
arms.
good
Like, how does he
album name.
survive?
Caves
Like,
and
Because
lakes.
he's more like Godzilla's more of like a lizard iguana kind of thing. Like
Okay.
he's got the tail and the like kind of, Godzilla's more of like an iguana than he is an actual T-Rex.
You guys couldn't see it, but Joe made a great Godzilla impression just now.
Yeah,
with
yeah, I
The
was
flow
like
of his body.
I was
yeah.
doing like a flow
it was,
thing.
It was pretty nice. That's what Godzilla does.
all right. Aaron, here's a cat-related question, so this could work
Oh
for you.
shit! All right, cool.
I invited a guy to my apartment that I went on 4 dates with. My cat kept hissing at him. Should I be concerned?
Yeah.
Do you trust the cat instincts? But won't a cat hiss at anybody?
No,
I
simple answer. I think Aaron had it. What?
Yeah, I'm down.
You concerned? Yeah.
Aaron's
cat.
concerned.
Trust the cat.
Aaron's concerned.
You know your cat, right?
I guess
That's
you
true.
would,
I don't
yeah.
really like cats. Oh, I do like cats, I guess. But yeah, I trust the cat.
Oh,
I like over the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust the cat over the dude.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I would trust my cat over the dude.
Right.
You know? It's got to be my cat. I don't trust
Dude's
any
probably
old
a
cat.
creep.
But you've already went on 4 dates with him.
Oh, I missed that part.
Wait, but is this
Yeah.
the first time
So
you've
you
been
haven't
introduced
called-
to the
That's
cat?
not
or-
that many dates.
And that's
No.
not.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not-
Where
That's
were
still
these
plenty-
dates and what did you do? I need to know these.
Yeah.
And there's other factors involved.
That's still plenty of time to find out this person is not the right person.
Yeah.
Can you have sex in front of the cat?
Yeah. That's 2 years
Where's
old.
the line?
Yeah.
It is weird.
In the living room?
I dated a girl that was in a studio apartment with a cat, and it was weird when the cat would jump on the bed and
Mm.
just lay right next to you.
Mhm.
Yeah. I guess, but
Yeah.
she trusted me, so
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
I
So
was not
simple answer.
concerned. Yeah.
There you go. So simple answer is
Trust the cat.
Yeah, I
Trust
mean,
the cat.
I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know. Maybe her cat's psycho. I don't know.
Okay.
But I wouldn't trust any dudes.
Yeah.
If you're not sure yet, I don't know.
That's
yeah. Go with what's familiar.
Yeah.
I feel like you're already concerned. You're just coming up with a reason for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my cat hissed at him, so like it wasn't gonna work.
Also, he's made me pay for every dinner.
He has my CDs.
Yes. All right. We'll finish out with Joe. What is the procedure for firing someone at Domino's?
Send them on their last delivery and say don't come
like,
back.
do they give like
That's fair.
do they
That
give
delivery's
you
not
3
happening.
warnings before firing, or do they just do it on the spot? It sounds like somebody's
Wait,
messed up.
Somebody
really wants to know.
Somebody wants to know from like someone who's worked
Yeah,
at Domino's. That's what it sounds like. They don't want to know from me. Wait. So what's the procedure for? Sounds like they're asking HR questions from Domino's. Well, it depends on how bad the thing is. You know, you have that case where that person was bathing themselves in the like back tub of the like Wendy's or whatever, right?
Wait,
Like that
what?
person was fired. You never heard of that? This
No.
person, there was like a video of somebody taking like a bath in like one of the back like dish tubs of
Awesome.
of one of the restaurants, and like that immediately is firing, right?
Yeah. Get
Right?
out. Yeah.
Get out.
That's get
Well,
out.
I mean, cleanliness, you know.
Yeah.
I'd say it depends on how. It depends on what they do, and if you're gonna, like I said, yeah, just send them on their last thing and say, hey, you might as well just stay there at that house, or just because. Well, actually, can you walk it there? Because that's our car that you're delivering
Well-
in, so we're gonna need our car back too. So drop that off and then go
Yeah. I
be on
think,
your way.
if it's like a really large offense, you probably get 1, but you can get 2 mediums for like, just for cheaper.
Well, I was just thinking about like
That's
Domino's
terrible.
has the website, right? That
That's
says
terrible. That's terrible.
2 medium
The
offenses
worst.
for
Or
$5.99.
$6.99. Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
That's pretty good.
All
You
right.
order something from Domino's though. There's the chart that says like being made, deliver. You know what I'm saying? Like
The
the
tracker.
visual thing.
Tracker.
I wish
They
there
have
was-
that for your
yeah.
employment status too.
Right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
there you go.
There you go.
Maybe they have a secret employee website where you can check your your crimes.
I wish more things in life were as reliable as the Domino's pizza tracker. You know,
Yeah, it's great technology.
They don't lie to you at least.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there you go.
It would be like when you're about to get fired. It'd be like red. It'd be like
Yeah.
real red and like glowing. Be like,
You're
you are
fired.
your pizza's about to be fired.
It's
like-
the biggest one
yeah.
though. It's like your firing is on the way, and it's like shit. That could be another 20 minutes. Who knows? Well, cool. August 31st, Too Damn Hot Affair. ASinclairmusic.com.
Woo.
Cat Paws. All your
Yeah.
music's on Spotify, right, or everywhere. You know,
It
you
is,
do all
yeah.
the platforms, everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see you there, man. Looking forward to it. Support
Yeah, me
Sims
too.
Foundation. Austin Detours, our man here, Joe, repping the employee. He's two-timing it. He's in Fair City Fire and part of Austin Detours. So
Super excited to be a part of the show, both capacities, and support it and make it a really awesome night. Can't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, it'll be Antone. So check the websites, Facebook. There's tons of ways to get tickets, but show up. It's gonna be a Saturday night.
Right. And Matt Jones is hosting.
I'm gonna host. Yeah.
And Matt Jones is hosting it.
Come, you win
So-
some prizes, support good causes.
Right.
Enjoy some rock and roll. It's gonna be a great night of rock and roll.
That's gonna be
Let's
good
say
music.
that.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
for sure,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Cool.
Absolutely.
But appreciate it. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Aaron.
Aaron.
My pleasure.
We'll see you there, man. All right.
Adios.
Thanks for having me.
See you
See
later.
ya.
Later.
Bye.